It's the social experiment that inspired the nation. Now Channel 5 is once again giving a whole year's worth of benefits to 6 UK families, up front in cash.
Cut my tree.
Will they escape life on the state?
Just learned that. I'm frightened I'm not going to make it.
The Great British Benefits Handout continues Thursday at 9 on Channel 5.
Sick, injured and orphaned animals get a little helping hand now here on Channel 5 in Wildlife SOS.
In Britain, we have a great variety of wildlife, but all too often wild animals fall sick or get injured or become orphaned. Fortunately, there are groups of volunteers who are devoted to taking care of them. One rescue centre decided to video its activities for educational purposes and to train its helpers. In this series, we're going to bring you extracts from their unique archive. The scenes were shot using amateur video equipment, but they capture the drama and the emotion of this fascinating work. Simon Cowell leads the team of volunteers.
Any phone call that involves the mention of deer, and particularly young deer, worry us more than most other calls. Deer are so prone to stress if handled by man. There should never be human intervention unless absolutely vital, and in this instance the youngster had pretty obviously received a glancing blow from a car, so was in need of help, which is why the people rightly brought it to us.
Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sweetheart.
As they had told us that the fawn seemed unable to use its back legs, my first thoughts were of possible spinal trauma. My initial examination of it in the back of the car revealed no obvious breaks, but only after a more thorough examination might we have any better idea as to its problems. There was an obvious injury to the right eye, which was not as bad as it might have been. There were, however, no other obvious signs of injuries caused by impact. This is not uncommon, but internal injuries were a distinct possibility.
Yes, this here's fawn.
The most worrying problem was the fact that the deer had no feeling in its back legs. The reasons for this could be many. The worst case scenario would be a break in the spine causing paralysis, or the best case would be a severe bruising in the area, which hopefully would subside with time.
Just rest and we'll put her on a drip for shock to start with, and then see whether her back legs, it might just be a bruising, in which case it'll pass over, so we'll give her an injection for the shock and for the pain. And there's no clicking or any nasty pelvic type noises in there at the moment, that I can feel. She doesn't want to use them, do you, sweets? Eh? Do you? Eh? Doesn't want to use her back legs at all, Jen. It doesn't feel anything broken. It's been knocked on the head, the eye's alright. Is she deep in shock? No, I would think Asium and probably put her on a drip for shock therapy, to be honest, to start with. She'll take a drip. I don't think she's going to move that much at the moment. Because I like to give her quite a large dose, and then we get a line in. Give her 500 mils of fluid. See if she settles down at all. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, come on in, sweetness. Up you go, back on the table. Yeah.
Certainly wasn't any sign of it.
Keep pushing.
Can you reach that up for us? Thanks.
When all the necessary medication had been given, all that there was left to do was to carry it gently to a deer shed where it could rest. This deer would definitely be on the vet's list for the next day, where I suspected that an X-ray would be necessary if there had been no improvement overnight.
Bit of bladed to one. Good evening. Got a injured fox in your garden? Yeah. Right, sorry, we're just sorting ourselves out. Get some equipment.
He came, must have been about 2 o'clock.
Right.
And he was in number 58, number 60.
Right.
And he laid in the garden there, and then when the chappie came home from work, about 4, half past, he came through his fence into my garden, and he stayed there.
Right.
I've taken
Did
food
he seem
down.
mangy or injured in any way that you can tell?
Well, I can't tell whether it is or not.
Lead the way, sir. That'd be brilliant.
Yes, okay.
Thanks very much indeed.
Okay.
We'll go straight through.
Hello. Yes, I've come in. I've got a German Shepherd. And,
Don't worry.
also other cats.
Trying to get the RSPCA.
Well, there you are. You see, that's the trouble.
Right, there, sir.
Right, straight on
Right
through.
down the bottom.
Right.
Shall I go? Okay. What I've done is I've put boards up, scaffold boards up to try and entice them away. At the moment,
Right.
okay, I put that up there to stop him coming through there, and he's under there, and asleep. Now, can I lift that for you?
All right,
In any
sweetheart.
way?
Just do that very
All right, young man. All right, young boy.
Just
We
hold
have
out of the way
fed
for a
him.
second.
We'll give him now. He can't get out that side.
Hello, sweetheart. All right, sweetheart. Come on, there's a good boy.
That's a good boy.
Come on.
Good lad.
Come
Come
on.
on.
Come on.
Go on, lads. You're all right, are you?
Yeah, okay. We'll pull him out gently. I'm not going to do it very hard. All right, fella. Come on. I haven't got you that hard. Come on. Come on. Come on. There's a good boy. I know. All right. Come on, fella. Come on, fella. Come on, fella. Let's have a look at you where we can get to you. Eh? Here's a good boy. Here's a good boy. Here's a good boy. He actually doesn't look. He's got.
He won't hurt you.
Carefully, if he doesn't snap up at you.
All right,
Like that.
yes, all right.
He's got a very slight wound to his rear right
has.
leg. There's nothing very major. I mean, he's using it.
He only looks a youngster. That's
He
what
is.
made us worry. He seems to be disorientated.
He looks like
you
a
know,
cub from this year.
it does.
I'm just
All
going
right.
to get him in a cage for a second, so I want to see if he can see okay. So probably back off into it, to be honest. Careful with your hands of him, because they do give a very nasty bite. Come on, you go, he's a good boy.
Come on, go on. You go, Jack.
Come on.
Come on, it won't hurt
The
you.
quicker you go in, the quicker I can take the grasper off. Come on, here's a good boy. Here's a good boy. Right, lovely. Right. I'm sure he can see. Well, I'm positive he can see. There's no problem at all. His teeth look in reasonable condition. I think probably the best thing is to take him back to the centre and give him a good old check over. And then if that's all right, I'd like to return him here, because it's much better for them to be in their natural habitat than...
Well, would you like me to come and
somewhere
collect him?
strange. That'd be brilliant.
Save you coming out. I mean, we're
That's
willing
kind.
to do anything to help.
This fox was a bit of a puzzle. He appeared far too docile. This may have been because the people put out food regularly for him, so he had become slightly domesticated. But also, this apparent tameness could be due to concussion. Urbanised foxes are particularly vulnerable to being hit by cars.
Comfortable, put you to bed. Here we are. Here we are. Snuggle there for a minute. We'll get you home. Let's go. Let's go. Here we are. Here we are.
At the centre, we would have the opportunity to undertake a thorough examination, which may better explain his behaviour. But also, we would be able to monitor him to see whether his behaviour was natural or due to injury or disease.
Chrissy, I just picked this up in Epsom.
Yeah.
It's very hard with these things. I find it, although I love people feeding foxes and doing the right thing, if they make them too tame, it's very hard to know whether they're actually injured or they're just very tame. So, I mean, he's not silly tame, so he tends to snap at you, but he's you know what I mean? He could be concussed or anything. So.
But when did you find her?
She was lying behind a greenhouse in somebody's garden. They'd been there. She'd been there all afternoon, or he'd been there all afternoon. Whatever it is, we haven't found out yet. But it's just weird. I mean, there's no major wounds. Seemed in good condition. Yeah. The only thing I just wonder where it was, whether it might be poisoning. So we need to look at the gums and have a look. But then we're just going to grasp her and see if we can. It doesn't look as if she's got. Well, you can put this on. She's look. Takes it like a dog, really, isn't she?
So you tighten it up.
Yeah, she gets a bit grippy when you take it out. Oh, we're quite still. You can just pull the box away from it at the back. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. Come on. I don't want to come out and I didn't want to go in and everything's a disaster. Should we do it on the floor, Christine? That would perhaps be easier. Right, let's just get it so we've got a bit of room. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, out you come. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't want to come out. I'm just quite happy in there.
Sorry, sweetheart.
That's it. Was that bad, really? Hey? Come on, you haven't got it very tight, have you? Alright, sweetheart. She does feel a bit thin on the back. A lot of it's sweethearts, actually. She feels lumpy, but there's a lot of sweethearts in her. Yeah. No, nice and pink, aren't they?
She has got small teeth,
yeah,
hasn't she?
I think she's just a very early cub, to be honest.
Yeah.
The gums are a nice colour, so it's not poisoning, which is superb. There's the girl.
It's, well, 38.9, but it's nearly 39.
That's good enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's a bit 38.8, isn't it? Well, it's bang on then, isn't it? Just 1 degree up.
All right, sweet one. Come on.
It must be fully done.
Come on, darling. Let's check the ears. And they're lovely and clean. Absolutely.
They are.
Wait just a couple of days R&R. See how she goes from there, to be honest. Hey, sweetie, hey, sweetie. Let's let you get to bed now. It's been a long day and a bit stressful towards the end, isn't it? Hey?
Oh, she's not going anywhere.
Come on, you go, sweetheart. There's a good girl.
What's that?
There's a good girl, and you go. Come on, that's it.
Bye.
She's too helpful, isn't she, really?
I was concerned that this fox was going to be a problem, if in fact it was too tame. Feeding wildlife is certainly to be recommended in times of any adverse weather conditions, but please don't attempt to totally replace an animal's diet, as this actually often causes the animal to become complacent. All wild animals must be allowed to retain their sharpness and cautiousness to man. Only after a period of monitoring would we know what problems we would face in trying to rehabilitate this fox.
Come on. Here we are. Alright. Here's a girl. You'll be alright, you're just too tame, aren't you? Too tame, yes you are, you're too tame. Look at that, it's ridiculous.
Welcome back to the evolution of motorsport.
And they make contact! Oh my goodness me!
The future is electric. The FIA Formula E Championship live from Buenos Aires, Saturday at 6:30 on Channel 5.
Make sure you join us on Football on 5.
To see Brighton put their promotion credentials to the test at Barnsley.
Lovely spin as well! That is magical! And it's finished off by Anthony Pillacart!
All the spectacular action from the Championship and Leagues 1 and 2.
Saturday from 9 on Channel 5.
The secrets, the spectacle, the stories.
People were questioning the point of the royal family like never before.
A new 4-part series goes behind the walls of Windsor Castle, home to 1,000 years of royal history. Inside Windsor Castle continues Tuesday at 8 on Channel 5.
This was the poor cygnet from the last episode who had become a victim of bullying by other swans.
How about that?
Having made sure that he was ready to return to the wild, I rang a local contact at the centre who specialised in swans. He told me of a local herd of youngsters where our cygnet would be received without problem. Susan volunteered to take the cygnet to the release site.
I've just been intrigued by all the sounds out here.
So where did he come from?
Well, it was found in Epsom, on a little pond there.
Right.
As with most swans, they are fitted with a leg band to make identification easy. So before he was returned to the water, the necessary identification tags were secured to his leg.
The birds on the Thames, and here in particular, face a lot of hazards in their life, and they're going to have to be rescued, I should think, at least once, if not several times in their lives. And you can only really do the right thing when you're rescuing a bird if you know who it is. And we give them the 2 rings, these little silvery ones, a tiny number on, but you can't read it except unless you catch the bird. But these, because you can read from the water and from a distance, so really these give the bird its identity. And this enables you to keep accurate records on the bird, you can build up a life history on it. And it's amazing how many times, in practice, the ringing of the birds proves its value.
Once in the water, there was no sign of any hostility, and it would settle here with all the other younger members of the group. They would probably stay together in a flock situation for at least 3 years. Only then did they start to pair up and move on. It always seems strange that in certain weeks we seem to get calls about or receive at the centre many of the same species. This was the 3rd time on this particular week that Malcolm was called out to rescue a woodpecker. However, the first 2 calls had been about spotted woodpeckers, but this handsome bird was a green woodpecker.
We've lost a foot.
Oh dear.
Not recently, quite a while ago.
Wouldn't be that, I wouldn't have thought. Beautiful markings,
Yeah. Quite what's wrong with him?
That it had lost a foot and that it was an old injury did not seem to have affected this bird's ability to find food, for he was certainly nice and plump. As with many bird-related incidents, it had probably accidentally flown into a pane of glass and was concussed, so it would definitely need to go back to the centre.
Christine.
Yeah. Oh.
Green Woody.
Beautiful.
No obvious injury as such.
Oh yeah.
Down on the
He's
ground.
not doing anything.
But he's only got 1 foot.
Is he really?
I'm sure it's an old injury, but it's well healed.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
1 foot that's got caught up in the towel. He has, hasn't he?
The other one works okay.
And he's not thin. You poor old thing. Perhaps the cold weather's just very mucky in there. Very poorly, isn't
The gentleman heard a lot of commotion in the early hours of this morning. He found him in his garden this morning, so whether... Oh, there we go.
What's all this? He's certainly...
Something's had a go.
He's obviously survived for quite a while, hasn't he? But something's got the better of him. Now, it's here, isn't it? That's not. That's all bruised and swollen. Something's had a go at him. Something's got him. Yeah.
It's not really, not puncture wounds, though, is
No.
it?
It's all when they get bruised, they can't use wings and things. And I suppose the fact that he can't use his feet very well, and now one of his wings has gone as well.
Yeah.
It's totally at a different disadvantage, isn't it? But look at this. It's amazing, isn't
Certainly
it?
well
His little
healed.
leg.
Christine prepared an injection to help with the shock and promote healing. Like a few other species, woodpeckers do not fare well in captivity. so it was immediately put in our intensive care unit where it could remain dark and quiet.
Drilled a hole in him.
Good afternoon. Hello. Is this the dreaded snake? Telephone calls about snakes are rare, and that the caller was prepared to bring the snake to us, rarer still. Who's big and brave? Let's bring the box in, that's it. Carry the box in. How are we doing? Take it round this way, shall we? That's it. Oh, careful your head on there.
I found him on the flower bed.
As soon as I had sight of our wriggly friend, the distinctive yellow collar confirmed that it was a grass snake.
When my husband picked him up with a stick, he obviously moved a bit, so we just put him in a box and then we phoned the RSPCA and they gave us your number, really. So.
He is quite lethargic. I think, to be honest, I'm glad you brought him in. I know we were debating on the phone whether you should have done, but he's not quite as lively as he should be.
What do you think's happened to him?
Honestly, don't know at the moment. I mean, I think we'll give him sort of 24 hours R&R and give him some food and just see whether he's interested in that.
What sort of thing do they eat?
They eat little slugs and worms, and they can even eat bigger things. As they get bigger, they can eat slightly bigger things like mice, I think, as well. But slugs is their staple diet, and worms and things like that. So it's quite cute. If we could take your details, though, so we know where to bring him back to. We'll put him back in there just for a minute. We'll put that in there for a minute while we take names and addresses, and just to make sure, we'll put that on the top. Protected snake.
Because the centre receives relatively few snake problems, I decided to call a good friend who was the head keeper at a local zoo.
Hello, Simon.
Chris, hi, how are you?
How are you?
Sorry to ring you on a Sunday, but I'm not a massive expert on snakes. We don't get enough in over the year to know what's, to be that au fait with them. And we've got a little grass snake in. I guess he's just under 2 feet long. The people picked him up in the garden. He was very lethargic. And
that possibly doesn't bode well, being that they're usually out of people's way.
Right. I just, I don't know whether you've got a quick second to have a look at him if I bring him over to you.
No, that would be fine.
Would it?
You know where we are, obviously.
You're a nice man. Right.
Get them out.
A little. We're giving him sort of reasonably natural habitat, Dave. I think that's adequate. So if it's not, where's he gone? Well, he's more lively now, Dave, than when he came in.
Well, he looks very healthy, actually.
Yeah? You don't exactly say he should go back to where he was found.
I think so, yeah.
Are you worried the fact there's no water in their garden or any neighbouring gardens or anything? I mean, they're a little bit aquatic, aren't they?
Is there not water sort of near, pond?
Well, I said, have anybody got a pond in the neighbouring gardens? And she said no. So
I think probably it'd be best to relocate it somewhere.
Right.
Like where there's plenty of frogs.
Right.
Any pond that
But
holds...
are you legally allowed to do that? I mean, all this
well,
law
there's probably
about...
grass snakes there. If there's frogs around, there's probably grass snakes there.
But under law, aren't you not supposed to move them from where you have found them and all this sort of...
Yes, I don't think they're really... You can be expected to replace it in somebody's garden if they haven't actually got a habitat which is going to match the animals. I'd find your, as Dave suggests, your nearest local habitat, which is obviously going to be good for the snake.
But there's not too much wrong with that.
Right. Brilliant. Well, we're getting back out to where he should be. Right. We brought you your little friend back. Do you know how lucky you are to have one of these? They're very, very rare. You should take good care of him. You kiss him good night every night before you go to bed.
No, we're going to put him by the ditch over there. It's not deep.
I say to it, the water is that way.
Yeah.
So he's got to come out of there and you've got to tell him to go down there, all right?
Yeah.
Right, let's see if we can get him out, shall we? There we are, look. There he is. They exude this... No, just... He's wet at the moment, so... Okay, goodbye, Snakey. It's very quiet now, he can whizzle off. There he goes. It's good news, isn't it? Yeah. Straight back to water. Find him again. Give us a ring.
Building of our railways has seen triumph and despair, boom human bus, war and peace.
Join Chris Tarrant for the incredible 200-year journey that shaped the country and made Britain great.
But it didn't stop there.
A new series, The Railways That Built Britain, continues Monday at 9 on Channel 5.
Good morning, milkshakers. Welcome to your Saturday milkshake with me, Amy. It's Saturday the 18th of February. We have brand new Shimmer and Shine coming up later today. But first, let's have a fruit smoothie, yummy, with Pepper and George.
It all starts with a click, but it's tiring work, being a little train driver. Milkshake, brought to you by Thomas & Friends.
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig. Peppa Pig. Fruit.
It is fruit day at the supermarket.
Look, it's Mr. Potato.
Mrs. Carrot. Sweet cranberry and little sprouts.
Apple, orange, banana, pear and pineapple too. Eat 5 pieces of fruit a day because they're good for you.
Welcome to Fruit Day, where the magic of fruit never ends.
Wow, so much fruit. Hello, Peppa. Hello. We are choosing our favourite fruit. What's your favourite? I like apples. I like oranges. I like bananas. I like carrots. Carrots are not a fruit. Oh, carrots are a vegetable.
Edmund is a bit of a clever clogs.
What's your favourite fruit, George? Is it bananas or oranges? George likes strawberries the best. Strawberry.
George loves strawberries.
Smoothies! Get your fruit smoothies here!
Hello, Miss Rabbit. What's a fruit smoothie?
It's a drink made from fruit. Would you like one?
Yes, please. Can I have a smoothie with apples?
OK, but smoothies can have lots of different fruit in them.
OK, apples, raspberries, bananas and more apples.
An apple, raspberry, banana and more apples smoothie.
Delicious. Can I have a smoothie, please? Me too. And me. And me.
Of course. What fruit would you like in your smoothies?
I don't know.
It can be anything, Pedro.
OK, cheese, please. Pedro, cheese isn't a fruit. It has to be fruit or vegetables. OK, raspberries and blueberries and blackberries and gooseberries.
That's more like it. Raspberry and blueberry and blackberry and gooseberry smoothies for everyone.
Lovely.
What do you want in your smoothie, George?
Strawberry. George, a smoothie must have lots of fruit in it. How about strawberries and pineapple, George? No.
Maybe George would like some dinosaur juice.
Dinosaur juice?
Oh, yes. All dinosaurs like dinosaur juice.
Dinosaur.
Let's see. A bit of this, one of those, a few of these, oh, some of that. One dinosaur juice, just for dinosaurs and their little friends.
Dinosaur. Can I have some dinosaur juice, please, Miss Rabbit? Me too. And me. And me.
OK, dinosaur juice for everyone. Oh, bother.
What's wrong, Miss Rabbit?
I've forgotten what I put in the dinosaur juice.
Oh, I can tell you what was in it.
Really? How?
By smelling it.
Freddie Fox has a very good sense of smell.
There's There's 1 banana.
1 banana.
4 strawberries. 5 cherries.
Strawberries, cherries.
1 pea.